dreamed I was missing. You were so scared, but no one would listen, 'cause no one else cared. After my dreaming, I woke with this fear. What am I leaving when I'm done here? So if you're asking me, I want you to know, when my time comes, forget the wrong that I've done. Help me leave behind some reasons to be met, and don't resent me. And when you're feeling empty, keep me in your memory. Leave out all the rest. Leave out all the rest.
Hey guys, I'm back. I'm afraid I have some bad news though. My 250 is not doing too well. I've had an issue for a while with my cam chain. And first I went to the shop and they said it was making some noise, and they said to replace the tensioner. At the time I didn't know, how important it was, so I kind of asked them and said, hey, should I go ahead and get it replaced? And they're like, well, you can get it replaced now, or you can just get it replaced later. So I said, alright. And I waited until my next oil change, and I got the tensioner replaced. And the cam chain was still making a lot of noise. So then I took it back, and they told me that the cam chain was stretched out. And on Kawasaki's, the cam chain does not have a master link. What that means is the chain itself is continuous, and they pretty much have to take the entire engine apart to replace the cam chain. So what that ends up meaning is that getting a new cam chain is going to cost about as much as my bike is worth. And the alternative is to get a low mileage Ninja 250 engine and just replace the engine. But the problem with that is I don't want to spend a bunch of money on my motorcycle when I plan on upgrading anyways. Because I've been riding this for 3 years now, and I just wanted something, just a little bit more power. So like if I have a passenger, I'm not going to go really slow. And another thing I don't like too much about the old gen is that just can't lean as far as the new 250s. And I thought about getting just a newer Ninja 250, but I figure if I'm getting a new bike, I may as well just get something more powerful. That way I can at least keep up with pretty much any of my other friends that ride. So I was asking the guys at the shop why my cam chain would be stretched out so much. And pretty much the answer that they gave me is that because I waited so long to get my cam chain tensioner replaced, the chain itself got stretched out, like even worse than it would have normally. What I've decided to do is I'm just going to sell my 250. I'm going to sell it online for $1,500. And I'm just going to let the next person that buys it know what's wrong with it. You can get a new engine installed for anywhere between $800 and $1,000. So that's not too bad if you plan on keeping the bike. And then you have a nice low mileage engine. It's almost like getting a new motorcycle. Everything else on the motorcycle is in really good condition right now. From what I've looked up online, the tensioner issue, or not the tensioner, but the cam chain issue may not even be that big of an issue in terms of, the cam chain. It can be loose for, upwards to 20,000 miles or so without anything ever happening. So if someone does buy the bike, I'm sure they'll be okay until the engine's at about 50,000 miles, and I guess a Ninja 250 engine at 50,000 miles probably needs to be replaced anyways. And I've taken care of this bike, and one thing about it is it throws oil out a lot. So I've made sure that my oil never gets low. Like every weekend I check and add more oil so it doesn't get low and damage the engine or anything. But I guess it's time to say goodbye, old friend. It's been fun. Somewhere down the road, though, I want to buy another 250. Just because these bikes are so much fun. And there's nothing I enjoy more than showing someone on a larger bike that I can keep up with them even on a 250. People just underestimate these bikes. So hopefully this weekend I can sell my 250, get a little bit of cash, and then buy a brand new motorcycle. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to end up with. I've been shopping around, and there's a lot of used motorcycles to pick from. I've wanted a ZX6R for the longest time, but lately I've actually been leaning towards getting more of a kind of a sport touring bike, just because I do a lot of commuting, and I like doing road trips, and I don't want to be cramped up from riding a super sport bike everywhere. If I do end up with a super sport bike, I'm going to end up doing some modifications to it to make it more touring friendly.